Welcome to the show. Glad you could be there. And you see, if you're watching the show, I have a green shirt on underneath like a jacket. And there's a green screen behind me. And when you wear green, you disappear. So I have to zip up my jacket so that the green shirt doesn't show, so that it looks like I have a head. Oh, yeah. All the technical, see, be careful what you wish for. Hope you're having a good day and you have your head about you and your wits too, right? Holiday season's here.
How you doing today?
Okay. Oh, my.
Traffic in this town is getting worse because our friends from the north are now coming down. And
I know.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
You just want to shake them.
Just
Can use the business, but
shaking tourist syndrome.
I know. Wasn't it Starbucks? It was a huge line. It's just the holidays now, and it seems a little bit more frenetic, and because it is, and there's lots of stress, and the system of your body all the systems take a hit when you're under stress, no doubt. But your digestive system, it will go sideways quickly. No doubt about it. And it can ruin the holiday for you. It really can. You know, and what's happening, Gary, it's a blessing and a curse in that on TV now you hear the commercials. Gas, bloating, diarrhea, and people, constipation. They start to construe digestive health as constituted of just that. It's not just about gas, bloating, diarrhea, and constipation. I just wrote a promo for another station. I do a health minute, as you know, on two other stations.
Well, that's with Gordon Deal, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Schnitt.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Do that, and I run a health minute on those two shows, and I just wrote a little health minute for digestive health. And it's not just about gas, bloating, and diarrhea and constipation. It's far more complicated. But I get it. You know, these companies are trying to solve. I get it. I understand. I just want us to understand that it's. And my guest today, Dr. Jason Mitchell, can tell you a lot about digestive health, and that's its intention.
I already have a question from the internet from yesterday, and that was how to deal with sour gut. I don't know what sour gut is.
You know, sourdough.
But he goes, I have sour gut.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But let's see if we can figure out what we can do for the holidays in terms of our digestive system to keep it tip-top and keep you healthy, and so you can enjoy the food, digest the food, absorb the nutrients from the food. And people are going to eat foods probably they shouldn't, and they might even eat a lot of it. But that doesn't mean we give up, right? So we can help with that as well. And as I said, Dr. Jason Mitchell is my guest. I'm going to bring him on right away. Dr. Mitchell, welcome to the show. Happy holidays to you, and I hope you're doing well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Garfield. Thanks for having me.
So, are you caught up in the holiday give and take and flow yet?
You know, it hasn't even hit me that there is a holiday coming next week, to be quite honest. I just literally landed. I came back from Chicago and Wisconsin doing lectures, and honestly, I haven't even, my mind isn't even there yet.
Oh, did you do you just land today or this morning?
15 minutes ago.
Oh, my goodness. Where are you, man?
I'm actually back in Tampa, but I literally took a 5 a.m. flight from Chicago to get here.
Holy cow. Well, where did you lecture?
I was lecturing up in just outside of Milwaukee, and then Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then in Chicago. 3 different nights in a row.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What were the highlights for you? What did you talk about?
Well, the primary topic was related to it's related to a topic called just balance.
What's it
And
called?
It was balance of just balance.
Oh.
Having life and balance related to the endocannabinoid system, the digestive system, and how these things interact. Not only just with digestion. I love the fact that you started off by saying that everybody reduces digestive issues to diarrhea or bloating or gas, when in fact it is far more complex than that. You're absolutely right. And so when people are out of balance, they just don't feel right. And most people are in a pursuit to feel better. It's not like they're in a pursuit for a cure or something of that nature. They just want to feel good. They want to have a good day and so forth. And, a life in balance is something really important, and that includes emotional, physical, and there's so many different attributes to balance. And digestive health plays a huge role in balance. If your digestive system, if you're not feeling well at your core, I guess you could say, it can really ruin your day. And
Absolutely.
And there's a gut-brain connection. Emotionally, there's issues that are tied there too. So it's very interesting and very complex.
What were some of the questions that people posed to you in these seminars that you were giving in Milwaukee and Chicago and wherever?
Well, a lot of the questions are related, what can I do? Most people just have this interest in what can I do to help myself? What are things that we can do? And, I always start off, and Dr. Garker, you know this about me, I always talk about the fact that the first thing you must do is that you have to make sure that the way you eat and the way you live has a huge directional, approach to actually how you feel. And so making sure that we eat right, we live right, making sure that we get the right amount of exercise and eating fresh fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, they just want to know how, because they have so many different things out there. I love it when you see all these books that are out there, or people that talk about different diets that you can go on. Right?
Oh, God.
And I always ask them, I said, what's the root word of diet? And they say it's die. And I'm like,
I just said that. I just said that on the show yesterday and the day before. I said, what's the root word of diet? Were you channeling me, or was I channeling you?
We're just on the same page, Dr. Kirko. But, I tell them it's not a diet that you want. It's a live it. You need to live it out every day. There's no one magic bullet that'll help you lose weight or feel better. It's a combination of things in approaching life the right way. Now, and then, of course, they ask me, so what do we do? And I'm like, whoa. I don't necessarily have every single answer for you. I know, but I can give you some basic elements that'll put you on the right track, because every person's different. Not everybody's issues are the same.
What do you think, generally speaking? Maybe you can't answer this question. It's a ridiculous question. I don't know. But generally speaking, is there sort of a universal principle of guidance to get people at least on the path to balance? That one thing that, everybody's got their own unique health issues and problems, whether it's with digestive health, but is there one guiding principle that you rely upon for yourself or to share with others to achieve that balance, one guiding principle?
Absolutely. My doctoral dissertation was on whole food nutrition. And when I looked at this, it took me 5 years and over 2,500 hours worth of research. Everybody desperately approaches all these different diets, like we just a second ago. But I do have kind of like a one-size-fits-all rule that if you follow it, it's going to be a heck of a lot better than the standard American diet. When
we come back from these messages, we'll find out what what that principle or that rule is. You're listening to Dr. Jason Mitchell. He's associated with that company called Probulin. And by the way, I've been using their cosmeceutical line, if you want to call it that, for several months now. It's very good. Dr. Mitchell will probably allude to it a little bit later, but he's here to talk about digestive health and getting into balance. And he's got a number of, the company's certainly made its reputation making probiotics, but they've moved into other dimensions. He'll explain. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
So if we were in Tibet and we were doing a retreat at a Buddhist monastery, the odds of being able to find some balance and harmony within would be good. It's the right environment, good instruction. But we're not in Tibet. And we're not in a Buddhist monastery. We're in the middle of traffic. We're in the middle of the holidays. And so we better figure out what the alternative is. Maybe to help with that is Dr. Jason Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, heading into those messages you were going to share, I asked you if there was one guiding principle, at least universal principle, to get people on the right path to balance. And I know you were giving your lectures up in Milwaukee and Chicago the last few days. Did you share that with them?
I did. I mean, I try to keep things really light so that they can be digestible. No pun intended. Well, maybe it is a pun intended, but to keep it light so that people understand that it is something that they can do. If you give them some sort of a strategy that seems unattainable, they'll admire that there is such a strategy, but they'll never implement it in their lives. And it's just making it simple. Some of these diets, they get so complicated, and some of the diets even get very difficult. They start to tell you, oh, no more animal-based products whatsoever. You have to live on just plants. You have to live on just raw food. Or, you know what? No, your carbs and fat and everything's got to be measured out and perfect. Or, when I was looking at it, I said, we're all humans, and that's the one thing that we have in common. And that our bodies work in a very similar fashion. We all have different, we look different. We come from different places around the world, but our bodies fundamentally work pretty similar. I mean, almost they're identical in the way that we need, the needs of the body, the vitamins, nutrients, phytonutrients, and so on. So when I was breaking it down, I just simply said this, if we're looking for what might be the perfect diet, it should be somewhere near or amongst something around like this. It should be your diet should consist of about half of it being vegetables. Now, vegetables are incredibly important. We hear about this all the time. We talk about how many servings a day. They have that campaign that's been going on for a long time that says get your 5 a day,
Right.
5 a day is actually the minimum that we should consume.
That's right.
In fact, adult men and women should be closer to 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day.
There you go.
But, just to keeping it simple, your diet should be half vegetable. 25% of your diet should be fruit. Now, fruit is interesting because there's a lot of fruits that I would tell you to kind of avoid if at all possible, and those are the ones that are higher on the glycemic index. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google glycemic index, and it'll tell you that certain foods impact your blood sugar a little more harshly. Things like melons and pineapple and watermelon are probably not the wisest choices, right? Maybe things like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, things that are higher in fiber, higher in phytonutrients, but lower in sugar, but still taste awesome. And so 50% vegetable, 25% fruit, and the fruit should be consumed earlier in your day. Because of the sugar content, it's going to be a little bit higher energy food. Now, the remaining 25% should be a combination of dairy, meats, and grains. Now, somebody's going to crucify me for saying that even dairy is a part of it, because I know there's this movement over the last several years, but, animal-based proteins are not the problem. It's how we've implemented animal-based proteins. I'm not suggesting that people have 2 glasses of milk a day and do that milk does your body good campaign. I'm not a real big fan of that, in fact, because I haven't had a glass of milk in 30 years, maybe longer. But the reality is that, I don't think we should be drinking milk, but there are parts of dairy and different things that might actually be valuable, and there's a lot of science around things that might, such as a whey protein isolate, something that's done correctly, that's not done chemically. There are great amino acids and other nutrients and immunoglobulins and supporting factors that come from that. But your diet should be about 80 to 85% plant, which is far greater in percentage than what most people are operating. So if you're to break it down, we're supposed to eat some fruits, we're supposed to eat some vegetables, and then have a well-balanced approach to protein. Mm-hmm. And if you do something in and around that type of breakdown, it doesn't have to be exact, but if you're just approaching that, what will happen is that you'll find yourself not gaining weight necessarily anymore, maybe even losing some weight. You'll start feeling healthier and getting better, a better sense of energy in your life too. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, changing the way you eat can change your life entirely. We're not even talking about supplements. We're not diagnosing anything. We're not even treating it. We're just simply saying the disease in our heart of eating incorrectly because of processed refined foods that exist, changing it with fresh fruits, vegetables, seeds, legumes, sprouts, all these wonderful things, it's a really important choice. There's one other area that I like to focus on too, is that there has been this movement to suggest that grains are somehow bad for you.
I know.
That frustrates me because processed grains, things like wheat and rice that are most of the grains that most people eat today, I couldn't agree more. But, when you look at ancient grains like millets and amaranth and quinoa, these are really wonderful grains that are considered ancient grains. They've been around for thousands of years and are loaded full of nutrition and so forth. And they're not dense in gluten. They don't have any gluten, most of them. And so what's interesting is that it's not all grains that we need to avoid. It's some of these processed bioengineered grains that have been, I guess you could say, altered from what they were intended to be. And quinoa, amaranth, and millet are just three, but there are several other ancient grains, and grains are really loaded full of good nutrition.
Yeah, and what often happens, the principle of convenience usually is a factor that causes these foods to get modified into an unhealthy state. It's all about convenience, being able to cook them faster, being able to, whatever. It's always about convenience and speed and whatnot. And in the end, that doesn't serve us well. To the question of a sour stomach that Gary alluded to coming on, we had a question about that. It's not a disease. It's a condition where you get this upper gastrointestinal discomfort. Sometimes it feels like indigestion, nausea, acid reflux, sour stomach. It's an expression. And when we come back, Dr. Mitchell can tell you a thing or two about probiotics and whatnot, enzymes to get us squared away.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement, or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Dr. Jason Mitchell is my guest. That business about sour stomach, a more, how can I put it, a scientific or medical way to put it, health way to put it, can be dyspepsia, which is known as indigestion or upset stomach. It describes, discomfort and pain in the upper abdomen area. It's not a disease. It's a group of symptoms: bloating, nausea, sometimes burping and whatnot, burning in the throat, dyspepsia. Dr. Mitchell, welcome back. What from Probulin, what can you focus on for the holidays that would help people with their digestive health and to get it back into balance?
When we approach the holidays, that thing I said about the right balance of food, fruits, vegetables, that all goes out the window approximately next Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for most people. We instead of introducing carrots, we end up introducing casseroles. And so they're loaded full of calories, and they're loaded full of a lot of interesting things that I would more cater them towards a description of comfort food, things that bring us a little bit of joy around the dinner table that are kind of fun. But here's the deal. A lot of times the biggest issue that people have through the holidays is they're having a lot of holiday parties, or they're getting together as family, and usually food is the core of it, and maybe not always the best choices. And so, unfortunately, a little bit or a lot of it of indigestion takes place. And so starting off with a digestive enzyme is actually really good. We designed Probulin's daily digestive enzyme in a way to be really, truly complete, meaning that if you it has gluten digesting enzymes in there, it has dairy digesting enzymes in there, it has bean and legume digesting enzymes in there. It covers a full spectrum of different types of food sources that you might need a little bit of assistance with because of what you might be ingesting. And so I tell you, a digestive enzyme is one of the most powerful tools, especially when you're going to be eating a lot of things that maybe you shouldn't, or too much of a good thing too. And so I would say digestive enzymes are the first, but then followed by a good, healthy probiotic. And, probiotics are the good bacteria that live down in the digestive system, and they live symbiotically with you. We can't live without them. They can't live without us, and so we need each other. And so what's really interesting is these organisms, not only do they help you with digestion and maintaining balance, but there's so many other areas that they assist us. They help to defend against pathogenic organisms taking hold of the digestive system. It really gives a sense of protection. In fact, probiotics are responsible for, roughly what they say is some estimates of 70 to 80% of the activity of your immune system. So it's really absolutely important that a good, healthy digestive balance is key. And I would say over the holidays especially, start with a digestive enzyme. But I would even encourage people that enzymes daily are very wise, because the better you digest your foods, the more you can actually draw from them for powerful nutrition to keep you healthy and well.
What does it say on the product? What's the name of the product from Probulin? What's it called?
It's Probulin's daily digestive enzyme.
Okay, and then can you take the Probulin probiotics and the Probulin daily digestive enzymes together?
You absolutely can. What's interesting about it is we've created delivery systems for both the enzyme and the probiotics in such a way to where it gives protection to them so that they can make it to the proper part of digestion where they're properly used. So yes, we incorporated them together. But I will tell you, if you want to know what the best time to take them is a digestive enzyme should be taken right about the time you take your first bite of your meal. So basically, when you sit down for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or whatever that big meal that you're about to sit down, take your enzyme before you start eating. And as far as a probiotic is concerned, the best time, truthfully, is at bedtime. It's when your digestive system is at its lowest level of activity, when you can introduce these new residents to give support to the body. So that's where the best time is. But can you take them with or without food? Yes. Can you take them day or night? Yes. Digestive enzymes are almost exclusively really supposed to be taken at mealtime when you're about to eat. There are other reasons to take enzymes, but that's the primary.
Just to help people understand, terms are used, they fly around all over the place when people are talking, and you'll hear probiotics, microflora. Explain the difference between those two terms. What are probiotics, and what does microflora mean? They're related, but they're different terms, meaning different things.
Well, I got a question.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that difference between.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, when you're talking about the microflora, you're really referring to this microflora, this living culture or community that's within our gut. It's actually this wide, diverse ranging community structure of all these wonderful organisms that do different jobs, that take on different roles.
Right.
It's kind of like the communities that we all live in, right? We live in communities where there's someone that works at a convenience store, a bank, there's someone at a gas station, there's a fire station, a police station. There's all these different things that go on in the gut.
Sure.
Probiotics are a term given to something that you can actually apply to a dietary supplement or something that you can take supplementally. Probiotics.
But they're both bacteria. The microflora refers to those bacteria that have taken up residence in the gut. The probiotics are what we find in the supplements, or dare I say, food as well, right?
Absolutely. When you eat things that are fermented foods.
Okay,
they
so
will have
that's
organisms.
But they're both bacteria, but the probiotics are outside the body that once they get ingested, they become part of the microflora, correct?
Absolutely. Well, should they actually then survive the journey once you take a probiotic, and should they have the proper amount of resources and available real estate for them to take up residence, then yes, they would become part of the microflora that exists in the gut.
Okay. Gary had a question. Go ahead, Gary.
Sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gary. Go ahead, man.
It's all right. So one thing is I noticed you have more actresses and actors giving probiotic advice.
Yeah, well, because the companies hire them to be spokespersons, and as it turns out, these concepts, these principles, these digestive therapies, if you want to call them that, supplements, have made their way into mainstream, into the mass market. And so these companies get these spokespeople to promote them.
But there's a doctor in front of Jason's name. So
I understand, but that's the nature of marketing. You can have an actor or an actress. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Mitchell.
I want to comment on that. Here's the deal. There's all sorts of different levers that are used to get customer compliance, to get customers to be interested. And it's funny. It started several years ago with yogurt companies realizing that they needed a different reason to sell yogurt because yogurt wasn't as popular, or maybe it wasn't as popular of a snack food. But when you can all of a sudden take something and say, hey, not only does it taste good, but it's good for you too. And now somebody has a lever to say this is important. Well, what companies like Dannon did is they started to introduce the word probiotic in a really unique way with Jamie Lee Curtis and all these other people.
Right.
And, I think it was ingenious because they took someone that we all know and that most of us love because we've seen them in so many different things that we do. So we can truly kind of identify with various different characters that they've taken on in their lives.
We'll be right back. That's Tony Curtis's daughter, by the way.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Dr. Jason Mitchell is my guest. And just so, again, the show is about educating. It's about learning. It's about making sure that we learn in the right way. And for clarification now, probiotics these are microorganisms, and they are defined as, hopefully and potentially conferring a health benefit when they're consumed. And these ingested microorganisms, they can come in the form of a supplement like Probulin, or you can find them in fermented foods. The concept is not a new concept. And Dr. Mitchell knows who Dr. Eli Michinkoff was. And he first suggested that colonizing the gut with beneficial flora was a good idea. He did that early in the 20th century. Now, he didn't use the term probiotics, but that's what he had in mind. That was the concept. And then your microflora is that colony of bacteria residing in different sectors of your digestive system. Dr. Mitchell, welcome back. Just wanted to make sure the audience understands that, because it gets confusing at times. So
absolutely, no, it does get really confusing. But to simplify it, they're basically, they're renters in the gut that is your life, and so they're taking up a little bit of space, but they're there to bring, I guess you could say, a complete picture to the community that helps us survive and stay healthy.
How much can you overtake them? Can you treat yourself with probiotics? Can you take too many?
Well, okay, so when it comes to dietary supplements, this whole notion, we talk about this often. It's probably one of the biggest topics we talk about with regards to probiotics. It's easier for me to answer this way than just what you would ask, right? It's a lot of people have in our society this belief that if a little bit is good, more must be better. The fact is, it's not accurate. In fact, a lot of the research that actually is, that is emerging now, showing these analyses of different clinical studies on similar targets and so forth as to what they're studying, they're showing that it's not about how many billions you take. It's actually about how many billions that you do take that survive, and making sure that they're properly delivered, because it really only takes a very small amount to do something very great in the system. Anywhere between 10 to 20 billion is all that's necessary, especially if it's properly delivered. There's some products out there that suggest hundreds of billions are what you need, and I would urge you to understand, unfortunately, if psychologically it's what you want to do, is you want to have a bigger number, then by all means do it, but it's going to be more expensive, and it does not guarantee you that it'll be more.
Right. And
in fact, the reality is it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry that there was a technical glitch. You cut out and there was dead air.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The World Health Organization back in 2001 gave to Dr. Mitchell's point, when you listen to WHO's definition of probiotics, they said, quote, probiotics, quote, live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, notice the phrase, adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host, close quote. The adequate amounts, it didn't say super duper over the top Niagara Falls amounts. Adequate amounts, right, Dr. Mitchell? Adequate.
Absolutely. And what adequate means, and the reason why the word adequate is so appropriate, is because everybody's a little bit different. And that's why when I said somewhere between 10 to 20 billion is all that we need, in some of the studies that they even show that if you were to take 100 billion and then compare it to 20 billion, you won't see necessarily any statistically significant benefit in the same study. In fact, you might have got everything that you were going to get done with 20, but there was no need to take 100. But your question was, can you overtake them? Can you take too many of them?
Yeah.
Theoretically, I guess it's possible to take too many. And there's all sorts of different conditions where taking probiotics, that where you need a little bit more here and there, or if you're using medications like antibiotics, it may necessitate that you take a little bit more than normal. But you don't need to take massive amounts than what would be considered normal, 10 to 20 billion. It's more important that you take the correct types of strains that are important for whatever it is.
So you thought about this. You and your colleague who own Probulin have thought about this long and hard. You thought about the delivery system. You thought about the combination of bacteria and so on. And you've talked about this on other shows, but that delivery system is critical, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know what it is that it's a critical format to install in the capsule to make absolutely sure that the bacteria that you are so, you have such a desire to deliver, to make sure that balance is restored or maintained within the gut, that this delivery system assures a better chance at that. And most importantly about the delivery system is that it's without any genetic modification, no GMOs, no wheat, no gluten, no soy, no dairy, no magnesium stearate, no flow agents, no processing aids or fillers. We do it in the most natural format. We use things like all natural seaweed extract to protect from stomach acid. We make sure the bacteria is hydrated and fed properly, and we make sure they're protected so as they transition through different environments, they have the best chance at making it to the areas that they need. I was mentioning something about strains a second ago. When you think about strains, if you're looking on a label, when you see the word lacto or lactobacilli, those strains, there's several of them. We could list them on we could do a show just on a handful of the strains, but these specific strains, if they have the word lactobacilli in front of them, they're mainly going to reside in the upper GI or the small intestines. Now, they transiently involve themselves in other areas for sure, but then when you see the word bifido or bifidobacterium, those are strains that reside primarily in the lower GI or the colon area. Now, they do transiently involve themselves in other areas as well. But when you see these two primary strains well distributed in a formula, you can begin to understand that you have good coverage of both small and large intestine in a good balance. Now, there's some other strains as well. It's not only exclusively those. But when we put our formulas together, such as our daily care, we wanted to make sure that it was generally speaking, something good for pretty much everybody that was old enough to swallow a capsule, man, woman, and child, and it's good for every day. For women's health, women need additional support because of the added areas like the vaginal urinary tract areas that do leave women more susceptible to yeast and things of that nature, but it also gives just more support, and there's research specific to women. And then there's the colon support formula, which is designed specifically to focus on the colon. And so when we were doing this, my business partner is Dr. Shaker Chawla. He's a very prominent gastroenterologist, owns the largest medical clinic in Kansas, actually. They have over 18 doctors and 250 employees, and they amass several different clinics across the state of across the state of Kansas. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and then another gentleman that's not a partner in the company, but is a partner in the reality of it, is Dr. Mark Brudnak, which is a prominent, well-known microbiologist, enzymologist, and he wrote the book, The Probiotic Solution, and it is the cohesive nature of what our thoughts were, is how we assembled this properly.
I gotcha. And we're out of time. And that trio of individuals, the result is Probulin. And Probulin is sold in fine health stores throughout the United States. Get your digestive system ready for the holidays. Probulin is a good and fine way to do that.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Show.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Happy holidays, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. I got the crew here today, full complement of humans supporting the show, and we're so glad that you could be there, wherever you are. Did you check, Gary, did you check to see where we are globally today?
No, I haven't yet.
Take a look and see. And we are coast to coast, including Hawaii. And it's about 63 or so markets right now. And we're very grateful. Thank you for your listenership and viewership. And thanks to every affiliate across the country that airs this show. We're privileged to come into your community, wherever you're located, and to share this project that we have here to educate and empower people to take charge of their health. That's not just a nifty saying I came up with or something to say on the air. I've been doing this for 12 years, this show. And I've thought about it. Gary will tell you, it's on my mind all the time. Has been. And, you know, what is our purpose? What is our goal? What are we trying to do? And in a word, that's it. Educate, empower, and along the way, hopefully we can entertain you. It's got to be done in an entertaining way. That doesn't mean saying jokes and being funny. Entertaining means compelling, pulls you in. It can be happy, it can be sad, it can be anything in between. A lot of emotion, a lot of cerebral things going on and emotional things going on. Entertaining means a lot of things. So in a word, that's what we're doing. So where are we?
Well, yesterday we were actually in London. Somebody viewed us in London yesterday. Well, 3 people did. So, and then, we always have our big pull out of South Florida, the Chicago area, Atlanta area, Virginia, and London yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And we made it into South America. We had,
18 people in Buenos Aires
watching the show. It's all good. We love that. They find it. And we have a company that uploads the show onto 3 platforms. I'll let Gary tell you about that.
We host the show on our Facebook Live page. You can watch it live. You can watch it live on YouTube. You can also watch us on the letstalknutrition.com page. And if you're out and about, you can pick us up on Flow Player too.
What's that?
Flow Player. It's a streaming company that we use that puts the show up for us. But one of our things that I really like to talk about is our Let's Talk Nutrition page on the iHeart app. And Steve knows more about that than I do.
Yeah, he talked about it the other day. But make no mistake, we are a terrestrial radio show. That's our DNA. And what I would recommend is whether you're in Birmingham, Alabama, or somewhere in Britain, or somewhere, wherever there's a radio station here in the continental United States, you might check to see if they have a website, and you might be able to catch that show, their programming, off the computer or off your handheld device.
Yeah, I know in the area in Louisville, we broadcast near Louisville, and their radio station up there has it up. We're live on their.
And a lot of our affiliates are not affiliated with iHeartMedia. I just want to make that clear. Although we broadcast out of iHeartMedia, so we try to embrace everybody.
We thank them for the facilities. They provide us with a great facility and great help staff, and our staff. I get our staff back at the office at up in New Tampa with Marcus and Kristen and Leticia, and now with Candace. So it's great to have them on board with us. We're growing. We're doing live events. You're doing a live event December 7th.
Thank you for reminding me. I'll be where? Tell them where I'm going to be.
You're going to be at the South Tampa Vitamin Discount Centers located at Church and Henderson. You're going to be there from noon to 2 doing a meet and greet.
December 7th.
December 7th.
That's a day of the week?
I believe that's going to be a Thursday.
Thursday.
And we're doing a meet and greet there. We're also going to do a health fair coming up in 2018. Got a couple of those scheduled. So
it'll be my first health fair since I got sick. So it'll be my first health fair. This will be my second meet and greet. So we're back in it.
That health fair is going to be like 4 hours, I was told. I was like,
yeah,
really?
it's
Kind of exciting.
It's a big deal. There'll be all kinds of vendors there. We'll tell you more about that, but more coming up close now will be on December 7th. I'll be appearing at the Vitamin Discount Center store in South Tampa on the corner of Church and Henderson, and they'll be there from noon to 2. Come and, as I say in the promo that you hear voiced on the show here, on the station, I'd love to meet you and bring your health questions. I may give some comments. I may do a couple of minutes or 2 or 3 minutes, and I may do a general fielding of questions if the crowd is big enough. So we're trying to arrange for that kind of technology to have their microphones and all that stuff. All right. Now, Dr. Mitchell was on a moment ago, and he was talking about balance during the holidays, and he was up in Chicago and in Milwaukee area giving talks. And his point was well taken about balance. And it's easy to talk about. It is a far more challenging thing to do. And we all have good intentions, and we want to do that, but we get caught up in the give and the take and the the flow of these holidays, and sometimes it gets the best of us, doesn't it? And my just general recommendation to check that and to make sure that you don't get swept away is to be in the moment and to take it literally moment by moment, to be mindful, to practice mindfulness. Now, there's mindful meditation, but there's mindful living as well. And I find that very helpful. And believe it or not, breathe. And breathe from your diaphragm and not from your lungs. Breathe especially when under stress. Every stress expert I've had on this show, I'll ask them that same question. What's your best recommendation for stress? Breathe, they'll say. And it's diaphragmatic breathing. When you breathe from your diaphragm, when you inhale, your stomach pushes out. When you exhale, your stomach goes in. That's how musicians play wind instruments, need to learn to play, and singers and whatnot, athletes. But we can do that. And you can practice that or do that at a red light when you're sitting in that parking lot called a freeway. Breathe from your diaphragm and be in the moment. You might find that those two simple things are small wins, but they can make a difference. Dr. Josee Fortin is my guest. She's up there in Canada, and we always like having her on. Such an earnest person, so genuine and sincere, just as authentic as they come. Dr. Fortin, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. We're headed into some messages, but I just wanted to say hi to you. How are you doing?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You doing good?
Yes.
Yeah. Where are you today?
At home in Ottawa.
In Ottawa.
Yes.
My daughter might have a client up there in Ottawa, pharmaceutical company. She now has her own company. She's in India right now, but she might be going to Ottawa.
Oh well.
Of all places.
Contact me and I.
Yeah, I might tell her. I might tell her that. So she's coming home. It's Saturday in India, so she's on her way home, coming home for Thanksgiving. We come back, we'll talk some more. Okay, I just wanted to say hi to you before we get into the show. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll come back with Dr. Josee Fortin, one of my favorite people on the show.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension, exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Dr. Josee Fortin is my guest today. Dr. Fortin is a naturopathic physician, and she lives in Ottawa, Canada. And always enjoy having her on. She has clinical practice and as an educator as well, and always has something on her mind to talk about. Dr. Fortin, welcome back. Do you like this time of year? Does this work for you, or is it too much stress?
It's not too bad. More traveling than usual, so a bit tiresome that way. But I try to manage my stress by taking walks and deep breathing, as you said, like diaphragm breathing. And I try to sleep well, even though I'm quite busy.
Yeah. You have clinical practice?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. And up in your community, in your neck of the woods in Ottawa, you have allopathically trained physicians everywhere, for sure. How many naturopaths are up there in Ottawa? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
You should
because
check.
There's different school, different.
No, I meant in Ottawa, Canada.
Yeah.
You think there's several hundred or what?
Not that many. Probably around 50.
Mm-hmm.
Because our towns are not as big as your towns are, so.
What town do you live in? May I ask?
Ottawa.
Oh, you actually live in Ottawa proper.
Well, I'm in the countryside, but Ottawa is the closest city, and that's where it's in Gatineau that my office is.
Mm-hmm. And what do you find to be the most challenging to be a naturopathic physician on a day-to-day basis? What's the biggest challenge you have as a naturopath?
It's probably to have people realize they have the power, that they are the one that can make a difference in their health, that I can tell them what to do, but if they don't do it, it's like it's not going to work.
Do you ever tell them to take charge of their health instead of you taking charge of it?
Yes, all the time.
See, that's a very big theme on this show. If I didn't end the show saying your health is your wealth and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you, take charge of your health would be my signature, identification. So you encourage them to do that.
Yeah, but it's hard for people because they're used to have somebody make the decision for them because that's the way the medical system is geared.
Mm-hmm. Is naturopathic medicine more accepted in Canada, do you think, than it is in the U.S.?
I'm not sure. Probably a little bit more because we have especially in Quebec and in B.C., British Columbia, because the Quebec province has a big, strong European influence.
What kind of influence?
European. So France, Switzerland, all those.
Oh, European. You mean European? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay.
The accent.
That's all right.
So British Columbia is more also an Asian influence.
Big Asian influence, yes.
Yeah. So because of that, they're more geared towards natural solutions.
Mm-hmm. So, do you ever have an instance when a patient comes to you, like let's say a patient's diagnosed with cancer?
Yes.
And they don't want to do chemo and radiation. They're looking for a natural way to treat the cancer. This has come up on my show. Since I had cancer, I started talking about it. People are more open to want to talk about it. Do you ever say to them that in the world of naturopathic medicine, there is no known cure for cancer? Have you ever said that to a patient?
I tell them that cancer is a very aggressive disease, that they need to put all their chance on their side. They can try some alternative means, but it should always be in conjunction with more allopathic treatments.
There you go. Let me just stop you right there. Repeat what you just said, please.
Repeat?
Repeat what you just said. Repeat it.
Yeah, well, they can explore some alternative modes, but it should always be done in conjunction with allopathic treatments, because there's no natural solution that will guarantee that they'll deal with all of it.
Thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah.
I'm a PhD. I'm not a naturopath. I'm not an allopath. Maybe a psychopath at times, but I'm glad that you said it. Thank you for going on record for doing that. And I just want to convey that's part of the education on this show. And Dr. Fortin's point of view is the same point of view I have. And I'm going to repeat this. There is no known way to cure cancer using naturopathic means. That you will hear stories, isolated incidences. You'll hear what they call spontaneous recovery. The cancer just goes away. Those things might happen. But if you have breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, and you're thinking about taking apricot seeds or going to some clinic in Mexico, I would get on my hands and knees and beg you not to do that. That's all I'm saying. That's why I told you Dr. Fortin is a straight shooter. What did you want to talk about today? Thank you for entertaining my questions. It's just sort of trying to educate the audience what it's like up there in Canada, what's naturopathic medicine like there, and so on. But what did you have on your mind?
Well, it's the time of the year where a lot of people do get sick with cold and flu. So I would like to address that because there are some really good natural ways that you can make sure you're a lot less susceptible to cold and flu, and that if ever you get one, you will recover a lot faster.
There you go. It's all good. Let's talk nutrition, coast to coast and globally.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension, exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Cold and flu and holidays in the same sentence, not good. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. That doesn't usually lead to a good result. Dr. Josee Fortin is my guest today. She has an interesting answer to try and, increase your odds of not getting so sick with a cold or a flu virus during the holiday season. Dr. Fortin, welcome back. You've been on the show before to talk about this concept and this particular supplement. Go ahead and tell the audience, the listener and the viewer, what it's about and the name of it.
It's Echinaforce from Vogel.
Echinaforce, right?
Echinaforce, yes. And it's a product that has very, very strong studies on it that shows that it's definitely an antiviral, antibacterial. A particular study showed that a golden standard double-blind randomized placebo-controlled study done at Cardiff University in the UK showed that supplement is particularly good in prevention and treatment of cold and flu because it was a large-scale study done on 755 participants on 4 months, and they show that if people took Echinaforce 3 times a day for 4 months preventively, the group on the placebo actually got 59% more cold and flu than the group on Echinaforce, which is a huge difference.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
It's more than statistically significant. It's of practical importance.
Oh, yes, it is. It impressed the researchers. They were very skeptical about echinacea before doing that specific research. But the quality of the product is really, really superior. And because of that, the results were very impressive.
So we understand Echinaforce is echinacea.
Yes.
And is it the case that echinacea in Canada, is that a licensed medicine in Europe or Canada?
No, it's sold over the counter. It's we need NPN. We need to be registered with the government, and we are the only product or medicine in Canada that actually has a license allowing them to say that they are a preventative and a treatment for cold and flu.
Okay, so echinacea has been around a long time. So Echinaforce, echinacea, is that's native to America, isn't it? And it's cultivated a lot in Europe too. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
It comes from America, but Vogel traveled to America and brought back some seed and started growing it out there in Switzerland.
Yeah, and Dr. Fortin's referring to A. Vogel, who that's the brand. That is the brand. You can go to avogel, avogel.com or whatever, or you can go to Bioforce USA and get to it that way. Echina. All right. So, what is in Echinaforce? Is it Echinacea purpurea, that herb?
Yes, it is. But the extraction method is very superior. We had a researcher in British Columbia who studied a lot of different products made of Echinacea purpurea, and any type of Echinacea. And he did find out that when you take the quality of the extraction can vary a lot from one product to the other. He actually found out that Echinaforce is actually the only product on the market right now that has 12 different strains of alkylamide. Most other companies don't use the same extraction methods, and because of that, they only have 2 to 4, which makes a huge difference in how efficient the product is.
12 different forms of what did you say? What was that chemical class?
Alkylamide. That's the
alkylamides. Okay,
components in Echinacea.
Now, the Echinacea that A. Vogel sells, that crop or that plant, the raw materials for it is from Switzerland. It's grown in Switzerland, right?
Yes, they grow all their plants. They never buy from other people.
And it turns out that where the manufacturing facility, it's right next to the fields where the crop is grown, yes?
Yes, because the ant harvests everything and they put it in maceration inside an hour because Alfred Vogel found out that when you use fresh plants, you end up having 10 times more alkylamide, the active principle, in the final products than if you do it with dried out plants.
Dried out plants. That's good. In other words, they grind it, or I'm looking for the other word here.
They chop it up in small
Chop it up.
pieces
Yeah,
and
okay. I was looking for the
macerate it in
M word.
alcohol. Yes.
Macerate. Thank you. Fresh. It's fresh. They don't dry it out.
Not at all.
Uh-huh. Now, some people will say, you know what? Echinacea is echinacea. It doesn't make any difference. That's not true, is it?
No, they have proven it on multiple levels, so it does make a huge difference.
And you use this in your practice, in your naturopathic practice in Ottawa, no?
Yes, I recommend it all the time, and I'm very specific on the brand always because I tell them if you take another brand, you won't get the same results.
You won't get the same results.
No.
Yeah. You shouldn't confuse alkylamides with Archimedes, by the way.
No, not the same thing.
Archimedes was a Greek mathematician, which is kind of a cool name. What's your name? Archimedes. And you give it to your children, don't you?
Yes, we take it. The whole family takes it regularly, especially this time of the year. As soon as there are sick people around us, we take it preventively. We use it 3 times a day, and if ever someone start having symptoms, then we go every 2-3 hours, and usually it won't even last a day.
Wow. Yeah, during cold and flu season, I don't have one with me now, but I usually carry a bottle of the liquid of the Bioforce in my black bag. I always carry it with me. Now, I'm going to be going to Colorado for Thanksgiving. I'll stop by a health store here in Tampa and pick a bottle up and take it with me on my trip because it helps a lot. And alkylamides, ALKYLAMIDES, that is the compound, it's all about chemistry. And that echinacea has high levels of alkylamides in them. How you handle the raw material, I keep saying this over and over, how you handle the raw material is going to make a difference in what effect the product will ultimately have on you. All right? Come back, we'll have the LTN Health question of the day.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. Dr. Josee Fortin is my guest today. We've been talking about echinacea and the, technically Echinacea purpurea. And that's from a plant, of course, and the purple coneflower. And you have the echinacea is not unknown to a lot of people. And you go into a health store and you're going to find a lot of echinacea. All right? You should not assume that all those products are equal in their effectiveness. And it turns out that A. Vogel, the company, that brand, makes echinacea, a product called Echinoforce. They make a supplement called Echinoforce. Here's the question. Where is the crop grown and the product made for Echinoforce? Is it Seattle, Switzerland, or Syracuse? Where is Echinoforce grown and manufactured? Seattle, Washington, Switzerland, somewhere in Switzerland, or Syracuse, New York. 877-897-8255 is a toll-free number. Call that number with the right answer, and you'll win a $25 supplement gift card. So, Dr. Fortin, it also comes in a pill form, too, doesn't it?
Yes, you can have it in a liquid form or a pill form. The pill form isn't a lactose base, though, so be careful if you're lactose intolerant.
Say that again?
The pill form isn't a lactose base, so people who are lactose intolerant have to be careful about that format. Otherwise, it's a chewable, so you can actually chew it or you can swallow it. Either way.
Yeah, I've used both. Sometimes I'll buy both. I'll buy the pill form and I'll buy the liquid. Purple coneflower, that is the plant, right?
Yes, but they use the whole plant, 90% of the aerial part, and 5% of the roots that are at least 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. The purple coneflower, you have two species, Echinacea purpurea and Echinacea augustifolia. Which one of those is the Echinoforce?
It's the purpura.
The Echinacea purpura? Purpura? Okay. Now, it's theoretically, it's believed that Echinacea benefits its benefits is found through the interactions with the immune system. Do you agree with that?
It does, but it's even more than that because Dr. Hudson in British Columbia did prove that the alkylamides actually are antiviral. They'll modify the protein envelopes of viruses and render them ineffective.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When we come, I'm going to take a call here in a second. I wanted to go back and ask you that clinical trial was done in I think you said London. I want to ask you about that. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida, not Russia, and talk to Joe. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hello, Doc. How you doing?
I'm good, man. So the Echinoforce, that product, where is it grown and manufactured? Is it Seattle, Washington, Switzerland, or Syracuse, New York?
I'll say Seattle, Washington.
Why did you select Seattle?
Well, because I've seen a lot of products manufactured and grown in the Canadian and
Northwest
Seattle area.
Uh-huh. Well, it turns out that this one isn't.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, Doc.
No, I was curious as to what your reasoning was. No, it's good. How are you doing with your diet?
I'm doing really good, Doc. I'm down to 183 right now, and I'm losing probably about a half a pound a day.
Jesus.
Which is good.
Wow.
I'm feeling good, but I'm going to give you an update as soon as I get my blood work results when I get it back from my primary doctor.
All right. I'm going to listen up for you. I'm sorry you didn't win today.
That's okay, Doc. No problem.
All right,
Thank you very much.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Let's go to Clearwater, Florida. George, welcome to the show. So we know it's not Seattle. It's either going to be, Switzerland or Syracuse, New York. Which one?
Switzerland.
It is. It's grown in Switzerland, and it's beautiful. The site is beautiful there. Congratulations. You won a $25 supplement gift card. That Echinoforce is one of my favorite cold and flu supplements to take during cold and flu season, but you can take it all year round as a preventative. I just wanted to mention that. You planning
know where I'm going to spend it and what I'm going to buy, right?
Well, it's up to you.
No, I know. I've been using your vitamin place for years now.
Oh, Vitamin Discount Center?
Yes, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't own them. They happen to be a local sponsor here of the show.
Anyway, I feel that I owe it to them,
Well, good. That's great.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. And I want to extend a happy Thanksgiving to you, and I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Doctor, and you also.
Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Fortin, we're back. So that clinical trial, that was done in England, you said?
It was done at Cardiff University, so in the UK.
Cardiff University?
Cardiff, F like flower.
Oh, Cardiff.
Yes.
And that clinical trial was pretty impressive.
It was very impressive. The people who usually do those trials, they only do medicine or over-the-counter medicine. They rarely test natural product. They did test some other echinacea products before, and they said the effect was similar to placebo. So they were very, very skeptic when they accepted to do the trial for Echinoforce. But when they got the result, that's the best numbers they ever got with anything they tested before. So
wow,
it really, really impressed them.
Impresses me too. Show me the data. That's the motto around here. And thank you, Dr. Fortin. We want to extend a happy and healthy holiday to you and your family.
Same to you.
And thank you very much. And hope the winter isn't too severe in Ottawa this year.
Oh, up till now, it's nice. We have lots of sunshine.
Ah, good. So far, so good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being a wonderful guest on the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye. Echinoforce, sold in fine health stores throughout North America. Fabulous. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.